A Wet Night is an animated short film starring Oswald the Lucky Rabbit and produced by Walter Lantz. It is the 61st Oswald short produced by Lantz and the 113th overall. Storyline: Oswald and the live female stuffed doll are boating in the lake. To spice up their trip, Oswald plays a guitar. Suddenly, it starts to rain, and night falls rather quickly. The rainstorm is so heavy that their boat splits in half and sinks. However, land is just nearby as Oswald and the doll jump to their safety. Looking for shelter in the midst of the forest that night, Oswald and the doll find an abandoned castle. The two become curious about what's inside, and they make their move through the entrance. Upon entering, the castle's entrance door closes by itself, and they are quite surprised. The first of the bizarre things they encounter are a trio of bear-like images made of fog. Oswald and the doll tremble for a moment, but breathe a sigh of relief when the fog characters dissipated. Meanwhile, a mutated gorilla arrives just outside the castle. Although lightning bombarded around it several times, the large creature was able to dodge every strike. The gorilla then proceeds into the castle. Back inside, Oswald and the doll see a faint cloudy image of a person playing the harpsichord. This time, they are less afraid. The rabbit attempts to touch the humanoid image, but couldn't as if he is contacting thin air. Just then, the mutated gorilla shows up behind them. Insisting that the huge ape was just another illusion, Oswald tries to punch it. He then realizes that the gorilla is real when he feels its presence. Oswald and the doll hurriedly flee, and so did the ghostly harpsichord player. After dashing through some of the castle's hallways for a few minutes, Oswald tells the doll to hide in a casket while he goes around looking for weaponry. When Oswald leaves, however, a skeleton comes by and steps inside the casket, thus scaring the doll away. As he goes on walking, Oswald picks up an axe and decides to take on the huge ape. When they met, Oswald swings his weapon and the gorilla is intimidated. But before the rabbit could land a blow, the head of the axe falls off. Disarmed, Oswald retreats and quickly returns to the casket, where he left his friend. Upon opening the coffin's lid, he is surprised that the doll wasn't there, but only the skeleton that took over. The doll is just a few quarters ahead of her partner. Upon hearing loud noises getting nearer, she hides into a chamber near a dead end and locks its door. Oswald tries to enter that room, assuming his friend was inside, but no one opened. As the gorilla closes in on the rabbit, the doll finally opens the door and gives Oswald a double-tubed rifle. Oswald uses the gun, but the bullets just drop out of the rifles and, rather than being fired. In doubt of what he should do, Oswald puts a small wooden stave between his neck and shoulder and challenges the gorilla to knock it off. The gorilla throws a right hook and Oswald is sent bouncing off the walls, but the stave remained in place. The gorilla then flicks the tiny piece of wood off with its finger, which worked. Little did the gorilla know that the flicked stave starts knocking down a number of nearby ornaments. This domino effect leads to toppling a statue holding a torch, causing it to light the fuse of a cannon which is aimed at the gorilla. Upon being struck by the cannonball, the gorilla was reduced to bones. The doll, at last, comes out of the chamber and exaggeratedly gives Oswald hugs. External links: A Wet Night at the Big Cartoon Database. The Walter Lantz Cartoon Encyclopedia, 1932. A Wet Night on YouTube.